What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got a big update about Premium Booster 01, PRB-01, One Piece Best. We got a bunch of new stuff that I want to show you. I've told you this is ramping up to be the best set ever, and not everyone agrees with me, and that's fine. We all have our different opinions, and that's kind of what makes life beautiful. But the thing is, I stand by my opinion. I really do honestly believe that this is shaping up to be the best set we've had so far. And as I've told you a couple of times in videos now, I'm going to be in Japan a week and a half after this set launches. Only for 3 days, but I'm going to make it a mission of mine to see how much of this wonderful set I can get a hold of. So one of the coolest things about this set is the Don. I showed you the other day that there are 3 versions of Don. So if we take the 3 brothers as an example, we've got regular Don, which are still extremely cool, let's be clear. They are alternate art Don that are themed very much after a particular character, Ace, Sabo, and Luffy on the screen here. Then we've got the parallel Don, which are basically the same thing but shiny. And then the super parallel Don, which are the same thing but shiny and gold bordered, and I'm assuming textured as well. And it is all shaping up to be amazing, and they are textured. I'll prove it in a moment. And these are going to be amongst the most sought after cards in the game, I am convinced. We are all going to pick our favourite character, because there's 30 of these according to, now this isn't official, it's not on the official website, but according to distributor listings we've seen, there are 30 different Don, and we know at this stage they're all coming in all 3 versions. So if there's a particular character you like, for me it would be Smoker, Tashigi, Perona, and they get their own Don. Now, for what it's worth, I don't think Laboon is getting its own Don, but I feel very confident that Smoker and Perona, for instance, will be getting their own Don. Trying to get a playset of 10 of the Super Parallel is going to be a real pain. But we do have some new Don to talk about today, some new of these fancy Don coming in the set, and they're all based around the Animal Kingdom Pirates. And let's start off with Kaido. Now, because they've shown us a photograph of this rather than a scan, you can see the texturing. Can you see it well enough? Is it perfect? Can you see it as if you have the card in your hand? Well, no, obviously not. Can you get a good sense of the lovely texture? Oh my, yes you can. These are amazing. This is very obviously the Kaido Don. You got Dragon Kaido going up into the thunder clouds and all of that. And it's the details here. Sure, you've got the gold border and the gold on your turn, gain 1,000 power and Don card and all of that. But really, it's the little things to me. Things like the little gold etching in the thunder, for instance, coming down, that really makes this absolutely pop. I love it. We've only got the super parallel versions of these, I should say. We know there's going to be regular and parallel versions, and although I can't show them to you, I showed you all 3 versions of the 3 brothers a minute ago. I feel confident you can figure out roughly what they're going to look like. But then we've also got ourselves King. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a challenge. I think some of these are going to confuse a few people. By which I mean people that aren't full-on One Piece nerds. Obviously, for full-on One Piece nerds, these are going to be pretty easy. For people who are just really into the card game, some of these may be a little more challenging. We'll have to wait and see. We haven't seen all of them. Obviously here you've got the kind of Levering King suit on the Don itself. You've got the little skull on the bottom of the exclamation mark. And you've got the wings. So again, here shouldn't be terribly surprising. This is very obviously King Don. If you're a fan of King, this is going to be awesome. And if we need King, we need Queen as well. Here we got the Konjiki Kagura, which is, of course, the song. Better represented in the anime than the manga for pretty obvious reasons. But you got Queen's ponytail and all going on there. And like I say, if you've watched the anime, you will remember this song. If not, might I suggest going to search for it. It's a fun little musical number. I think it's worth saying. Does this mean there aren't going to be any other Animal Kingdom Pirates, Alti, Page 1, etc.? Don't know. This could have been Bandai's way of going, here are all of the Animal Kingdom Pirates you're getting, but it could equally have been their way of going, you're going to have some Animal Kingdom Pirates, Don. Here is a selection. We don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. Either way, I love that they're showing us this. I love these Don cards. We haven't seen enough of them yet, but hopefully over the next couple of weeks, well, definitely, honestly, we'll see them all, because in like just over 3 weeks' time, the set is out. But I want to see more of these, and I want to see more of them quickly. Right now, I love all the ones they've shown. They all look cool. But like I've said, I'm waiting for Perona, I'm waiting for Smoker, I'm waiting for Laboon. If all else fails, I am 100% certain we will definitely get a Rob Lucci Don. Rob Lucci's had 2 leader cards in the first 7 sets. We're getting a Rob Lucci Don. But there are some other characters that I think I might prefer instead. Would love Tashigi as well, but I think that's a bit more of a long shot. There's only 30 of them. We'll have to wait and see. But one of the things I told you the other day was that we are getting event cards that are going to be coming around in this set. I showed you 3000 Worlds as an example, and I told you that before the reveal of 3000 Worlds, we didn't know if event cards were on the table. We didn't know if alternate event cards were a thing. We didn't know if we were going to be able to get them. We didn't know what was going on. Now we do. They are most certainly a thing. And we've got Judgment of Hell coming in here as well. And once again, I've got to just give a lot of love to whoever's designing these sets, because they are very clearly going, what are the good cards? What are the cards people actually want? Let's not go for random obscure event cards that have never seen play in metagame decks. Let's go out of our way to try and make sure we get good cards coming in here. So we've got Judgment of Hell, and this is kind of awesome. This is Don -1. Give up to a total of 2 of your opponent's leader or character cards minus 3000 power during this turn. And then we've also got a trigger that if your opponent's got 6 or more Dom, they have to return 1. This has seen a bunch of play in purple decks since it came out. It's popped up in various metas. It's a decent event card, and having a fancy version of it here is cool. Do we need it? No. No, we absolutely don't. But I think it looks a little bit cooler than the original. Having said that, the original is just a panel from the manga, which is always cool, but this is a new artwork. I don't know, I'm going to leave this one up to you. One I do very much like the look of here is Hound Blaze, and with Sakazuki having been running around everywhere since its release in OP05, you know, it's even been dominating the OB01 meta recently. Obviously, now we do have the new set, which is out. You know, OP07 is now legal. But for the whole time up till now, Sakazuki's been amazing. And one of the great cards in Sakazuki has been Hound Blaze. It's been a phenomenal card. And once again here, we've got a fancy new version of it. The old version had a manga panel. This has brand new artwork. I'ma leave it up to you. But it certainly looks awesome. This is the 2 cost, and it's got a main. Up to 1 of your leader or character cards gains 3000 power during this turn, and then put a character of a cost of 2 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. But obviously Sakazuki is blue and black, so what you're going to be doing here is playing a bunch of cards that reduce cost. So you're not really bumping a 2 cost, you're bumping a much higher cost, while also getting 3000 extra power, which is awesome. And then the counter returns a character of a cost of 3 or less to the owner's hand. But again, like I've said, it's not really a cost of 3 or less here, because the whole point is you are taking advantage of all those black cards that are reducing cost, and then going a little bit nuts. And sticking with our theme of really ridiculously good event cards that have seen a bunch of play, also from OP05 I should mention, we've got 200 million Volt Samaru. And just like the others, what we've actually got here is a manga panel on the original, and then brand new commissioned artwork on this one. I'ma leave it up to you guys. But it's another card which has seen a whole bunch of play. Up to 1 of your leader or characters gains 3000 power. And then if you've got 1 or less life, rest 1 of your opponent's characters of a cost of 4 or less. Or as a trigger, lets you trash 2 cards from your hand and add a card from the top of your deck to the top of your life. So you're adding a random card onto your life, but as I always tell you, if you're adding random cards onto your life in yellow, there is a decent chance you're going to be adding a card with trigger, because yellow plays a bunch of cards with trigger. So if you're adding random cards on the top of your deck to the top of your life, there's always a good chance you add a card with trigger. Trigger is obviously the best thing about this, getting extra life, but the main that gives you a power bump and then lets you rest one of your opponent's characters, that's not too shabby either. All three of these event cards are good event cards. Houndblaze and 200 million Volts of Maru especially have seen a lot of play in the past couple of formats, so having fancy alternate artworks here is cool. There's still gonna be a bunch of people that look at this set, and it's a perfectly valid opinion, go, well, it's a bunch of alternate arts, I don't care, I've got these cards. Yeah. Worth noting, of course, we are expecting that all the cards that are alternate arts will just get regular reprints in the set as well, and maybe you don't want a bunch of alternate arts with chance of fancy reprints, and that's fine. But remember, for newer players that don't have a big stash of competitive cards, having a set which is basically reprinting just a huge pile of competitive cards while giving us an incredible set for collectors, that just sounds pretty cool to me. So we've seen some new event cards, or some reprinted event cards with alternate art. We've seen some fancy new Don, and now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about Premium Booster 01. Tell me if you believe, like I do, it's the best set around, or tell me if there's a set you prefer. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.